Hey everybody, today is Wednesday, August 28th. I'm Gene, and you're hanging with Uncle. I want to start just by thanking everyone for all the wonderful birthday wishes I received yesterday. Uh, very much. Love all you guys. Thank you again. Um, but that's it. So before we get started, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything when we go live. All right, everybody knows the drill. Today I wanted to talk about voting against your own best interest and what that means, and basically how to, once again, get your information from the right source. So, it's been a while, so I think, it's about time we had this conversation with our man on the street. Welcome back to the show, Brent.
Hey, thank you, Gene. It's great to be back on. Yeah, with election season being upon us, we have to remember, who we vote for is because we studied the candidate and the issues that affect you
Correct.
personally.
So,
It's a microeconomic, macroeconomic decision.
yeah,
And a bunch of different factors involved when you actually choose your candidate. And I'm excited to talk about it.
me too. And before we do that, I just want to point out. Remember, I'm registered to vote no party preference, so I'm not making my decisions based on a party. And here's my voter registration card. You see, it says no party. That's me, Gene Smith. No party. I'm not blowing smoke up anybody's ass or anything. So, just wanted to get that out there for all those naysayers who think, oh, yeah, right, you're just a Democrat, really. But no, I'm not. And there's the proof in the pudding. So I'm sorry, my camera's really, I got to get it back in focus. Oh, well, I guess that's as good. There we go. So, yeah, when I talk about voting against your own best interest, for example, if you are on Medicare or receive Social Security benefits, we already know that Republicans are working very hard, diligently, to cut those expenses. And, again, if you receive that, why would you vote Republican? You're voting against your own best interest, saying, yes, take my medical insurance away, take my money away from me. Go ahead, Brent. What are your thoughts on that issue?
Yeah, on that, of course, you have to consider those factors, and it seems like that has been a continuing cut. It's been two ways actually. So not only has your benefits been cutting back, actually the amounts you receive, but your drug costs are increasing. Your transportation cost to get your drugs, maybe to get to the local drugstore, has increased.
Yeah.
Everything has now increased, and you should be thinking about ways to actually save money. Carpooling with your friends. Anything you can do, actually, telehealth maybe. Talking more to your pharmacist. Your pharmacy manager is probably amazing if you actually talk to them, if they have time. Try to get good information on how to take care of yourself and your health. But
Right.
that also comes down dependent on politicians, right? Of them doing exactly what they say they're going to do, and how they're going to help you.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree,
on the
man. I agree, and
on the other side of the coin, on the other side of the coin, some people are selfish and don't really think about, taking care of basically, what our cycle is in life is our parents born us. We go through life, they still help us, and then as they get old, we should take care of them. The more your government actually helps take care of them, will lessen your costs and improve your quality of life.
I agree, and this is again one talking point that makes no sense for someone to say, well, uh, you know, Social Security and Medicare, that's just socialism. I don't want that. And if you stop and take a look, um, the United States is already a socialist country. I mean, it's hybrid in the fact that we have an economic system based on capitalism, but Social Security, Medicare, our law enforcement, public safety, police and fire, our emergency rooms, our road systems, the FAA, and the biggest one, our national defense, our military. That's all socialism. That is us paying our taxes for the collective good using these services. So, I feel like people don't know what they're talking about, and they just look stupid when they say, I don't want socialism, when it's already here.
Yeah. I mean, and look at other countries too. Are they making a mistake? They're doing exactly the same thing. Actually, we're not doing the same thing as other countries.
No.
Other countries mainly have socialized medicine. We're the ones getting screwed from these high drug costs that are experimental at best. I mean, some of the shit that the FDA has pushed through. I mean, my personal argument with OxyContin not being 99% safe in a court of law. I mean, shit like that. I mean, it's just, you just got to watch out that maybe you're not getting the best information. Maybe there's an economic machine behind that actually hedges your money away from you.
Yeah.
Actually, you could go ahead and utilize, resources to understand what happened. Please do. Like I said, just even look at the OxyContin case was they were saying that it was 1% addictive. Later on, they figured out it was 99% addictive. But the problem is it was just crazy. It was like madness tobacco. Because everyone knew where the drug came from.
The drug came from the opiate. Tobacco. They're lying to us. So I'm glad you brought that up because, again, where we get our information is important. And I don't want to keep going over the same things. I did an episode on Fox News saying where we get our information is important. And that was published August 14th, just a couple of weeks ago. So, go and check it out and just educate yourself. Stop voting on what your team says because your team is trying to make you worse by taking away your rights and the things that you paid for. Medicare and Social Security are called entitlements because we're entitled to them. We've been paying into that system our entire working life. From the time I was 16, they've been taking taxes out of my check. So we've paid for it. No, I don't want you to cut it. Wake up, people.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that they're using economic. I hate to say this, and that economic warfare is something that people have to look at for civil defense purposes. And if there was a machine kind of created to go ahead and get rid of the Social Security value, and it's shrinking down to nothing, now you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. You just had these people just melt the system, and they melted bad.
Yeah,
I mean, they really did. They destroyed it between 2010 and 2024. You should see how much the value of the whatever the trust fund or the amount in Social Security went down. Scams all around. So not only did,
they've been raiding Social Security. Honestly, just from my research, there's plenty of money in Social Security. It should never go away. We just have to tell Congress to stop putting their hands in it and taking it, using for something else.
Man, there's so many issues that we could crack into with that. It's such a big ball of wax, and we got so much knowledge behind that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
On the different perspectives that we, but how we got that knowledge is through studying multiple sources. We don't depend on one information stream to gain knowledge. I red teamed the system a little bit, trying to understand it, how I can improve it and make improvements for national security purposes. So when you do that, you start to figure out the system flaws and how to fix it. And how you can fix this is actually through emerging technologies. And that's what like I said, I'll probably will start writing more about that in the next month. So yeah, since the last time we spoke to you, I got involved with an incredible writing team, and I don't really want to get into it fully right now, but you can look it up on LinkedIn. And I got published, and it was a great experience. It was a scientific paper, but a lot of these people are critical infrastructure people, and they understand national security apparatus.
Well,
And now I'm getting involved with Europe and their system now to help protect people. It went through, but this is organizational crime that you have to go after to make actually system corrections in this,
well,
and it takes a long time.
I don't want to get off topic. We're supposed to be talking about, voting your best
Okay, sorry,
interest.
man.
So yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm just trying to protect people. It's like, sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, and this is protecting people when you learn what's in your best interest. Again, that's why I showed my voter registration card. No party. What are the issues? And if you tell me, well, this party supports that and that party supports that, I don't care. You're lying. Look at what the candidates say and what the candidates want, and how does the candidate align with that issue. And so, like, for example, I live in a 55 and over neighborhood. So 90% of the residents here collect Medicare and Social Security. And you'd be surprised how many dumbasses out there are flying Trump flags saying, yes, take my benefits away from me. I mean, it's insane. It's stupid. I can't believe how dumb people are.
Well, it's not. It's not that people are just herd animals, unfortunately,
They're sheep,
and
yeah.
without the correct information, they follow what's in front of them a lot, not even knowing. They kind of get into a frenzy, and you can even track this shit online, when it comes to buzz moments and this and what people are buzzing about. And they try to create, it, buzz moments shouldn't be about political speeches every day. It should be about showing good morals instead of showing bad stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And this comes down to your candidates actually stopping it. So by going ahead and taking back control of yellow journalism, other things that are going on to actually control your perception about what your candidate does too, because it gets down to ethical decisions.
It really does. I'm
That's
glad you brought up ethical decisions because, I mean, there's so many issues on the ballot. Like, for example, women's reproductive rights. You don't have to, be a senior citizen collecting Medicare and Social Security to not have that issue be important to you. Or make sure public education is secured so our posterity doesn't grow up stupid and we don't get taken advantage of later on because these dumbasses are wanting to ban books and stuff. Just look at the issues, and if you ask me, Project 2025 spells everything out. And just ask yourself, if you have children, are you okay with books being banned? Are you okay with your kids not learning about the history of this country, the real history, the ugly history? All of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't just pick and choose what our education system's going to do. It's got to be, all inclusive. So banning public education, no, I'm not voting for Cadet Bone Spurs and Project 2025. But what are some of the issues that you think people need to pay attention to instead of looking at what party they're going to vote for?
You should look at the Supreme Court and the makeup of the Supreme Court and your core values, your moral ethics, and then who's in there, and then how to make a change to go ahead and never, have that happen again, basically. Because right now you're kind of stuck, how they're loosening up control now to the states to make certain decisions. That means states can probably and will start to go ahead and ban books. Which ones and to what degree they have. But which ones and to what degree we're going to see, it's just starting right now. So
yeah,
but that happened because of stupid shit like the giving up federal powers, the weakening of federal powers, right? And the Chevron defense, all this different shit they've been cramming through right now. A lot of the wheels fall off because of what the Supreme Court did. So you can look actually what happened in 2000 by 5 to 18, or 20 to figure out the makeup of the court and how it happened, and all the shady things that happened to get those people in there. Then who are these people actually on our highest court? It's almost scary thinking about it.
So
and that because how are you? Go ahead, brother.
I was just going to say, that's a Heritage Foundation, a right wing conservative thinking tank that is coming up with all these. So Project 2025 is nothing new. I remember back when Reagan was running for office, and the Heritage Foundation published a book called Mandate for Leadership. And it's policies that these conservative think tanks write up. And actually, if you go back and look at it, Reagan implemented 60% of those policies. So like Governor Walz says, you don't draw up a playbook if you don't intend to use it. Project 2025 is there, and we need to take it seriously and make sure we do not vote for candidates that support that nonsense.
Yeah, there's been such a change, man, and it happened, and I really can't say it is just a Republican problem. Looking at the whole thing from a systems looking at it, it looked like there was strange things that happened on the Democratic side that certain people did. So what we got to do too is remember there'll be greedy people. That's why you got to know your candidate. Well, you got to go and study whether it's a Democrat or Republican. You got to study this shit. It's not just the wheels don't fall off just because one party does it. It doesn't become 50-50 on purpose. It becomes 50-50 to make the wheels fall off. Where everyone argues and say, hey, I can't get anything done because of that side. Oh, no, it's that side. No, the side is no.
And that's why we need to eliminate sides and look at the issues and the candidates, which is why I'm registered no party preference, because I don't belong to a cult. I don't have the herd mentality. I'm going to join this group and follow them there, or this group and follow them there. What are the issues that are important to you? Because we all have different issues that are important to us because none of us live the same life. So what's important to you? Don't look at a party, look at the issue, and then look at the candidates and see where they stand on that issue. That's why I'm registered to vote no party preference, and that's what I'm encouraging all of our listeners to do, and hopefully soon to be listeners, because that is how, in my opinion, we're going to make a difference with this your side versus my side in this polarized country we live in. What do you think?
Yeah, we got to figure out, how to take back our states, basically, for common sense.
Yeah.
It's time to make America safe again.
Oh, yeah.
So there's an issue going on too, Gene, with some of the states. I think it was maybe Arizona or some state. It was like Florida did it first, I think, where they're making it where even if you vote a certain way for a thing, the legislator could decide not to go ahead and put it on the ballot.
Georgia.
If you vote it. Huh?
Georgia.
Georgia
okay. Put that law in place 4 years ago. That's one of the first issues we ever talked about on this show, was the rule that Georgia made, the law they passed, saying that we don't care who you vote for, we're the ones that are going to decide who's going to win, and your vote doesn't mean anything. And that's Georgia. And I believe that a lot of other
Florida did it?
I don't know if Florida did it or not. I know for sure Georgia did.
Okay. And then I think in the last week there was a Western state. That's why I don't think it was Arizona, but
I don't think I read something here. I don't think that's what it was, but yeah, definitely.
But anyways, man.
But for sure, Georgia, that was a swing state, and they wanted to make sure that didn't happen again because they want to protect their party and not the issues. But I'm going to give you these last few minutes, Brent, because you're right. There's are a lot of issues regarding national safety that have consequences with this election. So let everybody know what those issues are that are important to you and what you're doing about it.
Okay, well, I started working with different people inside the federal government for the last 3 years. It's developed into the UN, and now I'm talking with, let's say, higher government officials that control the organizational for trans-organizational crime. So the UN has a facility, but really I sat through that, and there's a lot of flaws to it. I'm trying to get more information. I only sat through two meetings of the UN TOC, the UNODC. So now I have people that are interested in civil defense. They understand that certain safeguards need to be put in place when it comes to critical infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at ways to solve problems and cut down costs for energy costs by developing new ways to harness energy and to protect energy. One way would be through drone technology and actually using it for line maintenance and line security purposes. Because of different things that are going on, I think I'm about to sign an NDA. I can't really talk about that. But what I'd like to mention is something that it was a topic that I get involved with a lot when it comes to religion. Because when you got to understand national security matters, religion is involved, it's ingrained into people's system, basically. Their systems thinking is through a lens of usually a spirituality, religious lens, and then morality could be right there too. But sometimes people get confused. And I've seen something that Dr. Phil did, actually Dr. Phil.
Yeah, that quack.
Yeah, it greatly concerned me. He was basically he had Trump on for an interview, and he was trying to portray what happened as an act of God. As God actually protected him, and then somebody else got killed, actually.
Yeah.
So I kind of brought that into it. There's a guy named Corey that actually died from that missed bullet. And what everyone doesn't understand is someone died in that audience. And then this guy is saying it's an act of God. It's just really greatly disturbing, because that would mean that God wanted Corey to die to get Trump into office because he's ordained as the Holy One. So now you got both Dr. Phil and Trump on air basically saying it's a miracle. Well, a miracle, an act of God.
We both.
So what do you think of that?
Bunch of bullshit. Number one, I call him Dr. Melonhead because that's about how much sense is in there. This was just a violent act as a result of all the animosity that's been stirred in my opinion, by Cadet Bone Spurs, and it's the chickens come home to roost. I'm not saying that he deserved it, or I wish the bullet would have been 1 inch to the left. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is that the rhetoric that needs to be toned down so assassination attempts like this are far less likely to happen. That's my opinion.
Yeah, they're glorifying violence by actually talking about it as a miracle.
Yeah.
Like violence is actually holy or something. That's what I don't like at all. It is, to me, it was, if people understand what blasphemy is, I think is, there's a lot of words I could use right now, but it's not really how you talk about religion. You got to understand is how you think about morality when you understand what he's talking about. and how many bad things actually line up with this guy going on TV and trying to portray this as that.
See, that's
Usually, a miracle has to go through a strenuous system. The hands of time move, and then it's they investigate it and this and that. Oh man, go ahead, Gene.
I'm just going to say that this is a perfect example of why we need to pay attention to the issues and not a party. And also understanding that violence is never the answer. We have the authority to go to war at the ballot box and eliminate MAGA without one shot being fired. It doesn't have to be that way. So, in closing, all I have to say is wake up, everybody. Pay attention to the issues. Forget a political party and listen to what the candidates are saying and know when they're lying, because where you get your information is very important. Any closing thoughts, Brent?
Well said, my friend. I cannot do any better. I will toast you my water right now for that speech.
Well,
thank you, man, for having me on again. It's always fun and great way to catch up to you.
it is.
And no, I didn't wish you a happy birthday because everyone was wishing you a happy birthday yesterday. So I wanted to wait for the right time. I'm still not doing it right now. I'm going to wait until you think it's totally out of my mind, and I'm going to say, hey, happy birthday to you. But that's the plan.
All right, man. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you again, Brent, for joining us on the show. I know it's been kind of different since we do morning shows now. But again, thanks for joining us. I'm glad you can make the time to be with us. Remember, everybody, be kind to one another. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. And a lot of this nonsense would stop happening. So that's all we have for today. I'm Gene. Thank you for hanging with Uncle. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.